don't like where you are, I can go back to your seat. So. Right, so now, yeah. So if you could, if you like, can you share some of the interesting findings? What are some of your demanding customer situations that you usually face, and what is the background of that customer and what did you do? Any volunteer answers, or anyone would like to share your experiences? Put it this way: anyone would like to complain about your customers?
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So, I sell market research.
Yes.
And usually I sell to, sometimes I'll sell to middle managers like marketing managers or business development managers. Sometimes I'll sell to senior managers, so like general managers, MDs, things like that.
Okay.
Demanding situations I face, like the most common one is that they have some needs, but they don't actually have experience with market research, so they don't really understand what we can do and what we can't do for them.
Right.
Yeah. So if they, by and large, if they haven't had experience with it, they're not necessarily going to understand. So like more senior managers are easier to talk to because they usually have experience with that stuff. But then they pass you off onto middle managers who don't necessarily have that experience.
Right, right.
What do I do? I mean, a lot of times sometimes I'll just refer them to my boss because he's been doing it for a long time, so he understands. He's the expert. He's been doing it for 15 years, so he can sort of diagnose their problems a little bit better than I can. What do I do? I mean, like I'll bring in samples and I'll explain and I'll explain and I'll explain, but I mean, in a lot of cases they don't necessarily. Are
they stupid or what?
No, they're not stupid. They just
not all of them.
Yeah, not some of. Well, yeah, okay, some of them are stupid, but yeah. So I mean, basically, I bring in samples. I walk them through things. I have them. You know, I try to ask them questions and I try to get them to think about how we can solve their problems, basically.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so that's basically it.
Right.
And sometimes it works, but a lot of times it just doesn't.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Right. And so you're trying to say something earlier on. Sorry.
Okay. But I don't intend to complain about my customer.
Sure. No problem. Just
come here to find a solution.
Okay. Sure.
So basically, the difficult situations we have normally is, first of all, we are in the consulting business.
Sure.
We provide
which area?
government affairs.
Okay.
We advocate policies for clients. So, but sometimes clients keeps adding on scope work. That's one of the difficult situations we have. And the other one is some of them give requirement with very demanding timelines, deadline. And the other case is typically in our business we need to work together with client contacts. That means the other part also need to work a little bit.
Right.
But sometimes we have clients that the contact person does not think at all. They just pass on whatever their boss asks them. Just pass on to us. So that's another situation.
Right.
The job title. Normally when we sign a contract, it's with the president or general manager.
But they are not the customers who give you the problem.
Right. The problem is during the project execution.
Okay.
It's normally the mid-level management who are dealing with us. Then sometimes problem come up. So what do we do? We set a lot of details about what we do and what we don't do in the contract. That's one way to protect us.
What I mean is, how did you handle those situations?
Well, when clients come up with more work to us, sometimes we accept, but sometimes we will tell them that this is out of the scope of work. And if you want this service, we will charge you this and that.
Okay. Right. Sorry. Do you want to say something? Oh, okay, I thought you were raising your hand. So. Right, interesting. Now, anybody with more different situations they want to share? No.
I think that we do shipping transportation,
Yes.
and we have a lot of customers ask for very low price and
Okay.
negotiate at one time, and after contract signed, and they keep adding more service requirements,
okay.
and so the title of the customers normally is a logistics manager or director of the transportation, and what do we do? And normally I think that we try to basically during the contract negotiation try to solicit all the requirements at once before actually going to the price negotiation. The price negotiation comes to the last.
Yes.
So before we try to get all the requirements first, and then we can.
That's very interesting.
Price,
yeah, because usually when we go about selling, I mean, this is not about selling in itself for the session, but it implies selling in this situation because when we go about selling anything, usually the customer's first question is, how much? How much? That's the first question, right? So if, evidently sometimes we go into pricing before we talk about anything else. And some of the purchasing managers that we find is that if you don't meet my price, we are not going to discuss anything else.
Yes.
Right. So sometimes it's that situation. So that's another big topic. We probably wouldn't have time for this morning. But that results in the situation as I mentioned. You want it cheap, and then you want it fast, and then you want it good, and then you want a lot of things, right? So, which unfortunately it just cannot be done, right? So those are situations that we face. Now, these are some of the examples that we get from typical customer service managers or customer service people. So these are the key things that customers ask them. Insisting on changing delivery dates, right? Can be putting forward or putting later. Sometimes they want it quick, sometimes they want it slow. So delivery dates. If you sell products, physical products, they want to change delivery dates very frequently, right? And it creates a lot of logistical problems. Insisting on shorter lead times, response times, time for preparation. They want it fast, and it's usually shorter than the industry standard. It's not about we are not able to meet those short periods of time. Oops. Have a seat somewhere. Right. It's not because we are unable to meet it short, but they really are asking for an unrealistic short response time. Right. And even if we do respond in a short time like this, it's going to compromise on the eventual qualities. Frequent changes in requirements, scope, whatever needs they have. They want this, and tomorrow they want that, and then the day after they want something else. So they keep on changing their ideas, the specs, the scope, and everything. So this is some of the situation. And last but not least, if something goes wrong, it's all your fault. As well. Right? So it's not if it's mistakes arising because of they want it fast, they have frequent changes, they face certain difficulties. We tried it out, but it didn't work out well. To what do you call it? Oops.
You want to go over here?
Sorry, we ran out of tables. Right. Yeah, that's my fault. Anyway, so some customers tend to blame the sellers for their own mistakes. So if it's the seller, it's the seller's fault, right? So these are some of the key general things that we face, and in a way, customers all around the world tend to behave the same way. So, question is, why do customers behave like that? I mean, I've wondered why customers, no matter what industry we're in, no matter where we are, anywhere in the world, these are the very common things. We talk about customers' issues that tend to fall into one of these categories. Sometimes all of these categories, right? So
They don't know exactly what they want.
they don't know what they want. right? Actually, we have a session called Selling to Muggles some time ago. Remember the term Muggles? Anyone watched Harry Potter? Yeah. Muggles refer to people who doesn't know magic, right? So we term some of customers Muggles, and there's nothing wrong being a Muggle. Muggle means if you're a customer and you don't know what you want, and there's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes or rather we don't know what we want. Right? Let's face it. What's wrong with the situation is some customers are more open to suggestions. Some customers refuse to listen. Right? And some customers, when they don't know what they want, when they don't know what's going on, they pretend they know. Right? We call those customers. It starts with an A and ends with an E. So we won't say what it is. Right? Why customers are behaving like that? If you are looking at customer situations, usually. There are customers who are open, there are customers who are closed. There are customers who are knowledgeable, and there are customers who are not knowledgeable. There are some customers who are not knowledgeable but are not open to communication, they're not open to listen to ideas, and it makes it a lot more difficult to communicate with them. So sometimes it's that. Why? Other reasons why customers behave like
that. Someone above them is making them do some changes.
Exactly. I mean, it's they didn't raise the changes themselves. It's not because they are demanding, but because they probably have demanding bosses. They probably have demanding internal situations. So they face internal pressure. So basically, they just come to you, right? So they are also in a way caught in between. Right? They are not also in a position to make decisions or changes to what their bosses, the management says. Okay, so these are typical situations. As mentioned earlier, some customers are not decision makers. So they carry out decisions. They don't make the decisions. So if you would ask them if things can be changed, if you provide alternative plans, sometimes it may not work that way, right? Some face internal pressures. Mentioned earlier, the boss are demanding. So. They have their own difficulties as well, right? Some don't have the right skills and knowledge to deal with the situation. They don't know how to deal with it, right? So, if they don't know about what they want, and if they're open to suggestions, that makes things a lot easier. We can help them solve their problems. If they don't know what they want, they are closed to suggestions. It makes it a lot tougher. Now, why are some customers less open than other customers? Why are some customers, well, they are easy to talk to, they don't know, and they just tell you, I don't know, why don't you give them some advice? And it's easy to deal with. Why are some other customers tend to say, no, don't tell me what to do, this is what I want, and actually they don't know what they want? Why are some customers like that?
Company culture?
Company culture, maybe?
Lack of trust.
Lack of trust.
Relationship.
They don't trust you.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a lot has to do with trust, with the lack of relationship. If I admit to you, to someone that I don't know a lot of things, right? Not only it's lack of trust, you may take advantage of me. It's also a huge loss of faith. Right, so it's a faith issue. I don't want to look bad in front of someone I don't know. I don't want to look like an idiot. I don't want to be perceived that I'm not knowledgeable in front of someone that I don't know, right? So these are some of the things. And some customers may have some needs that are not met. There are some issues that need to be resolved, so they become demanding in some other areas. So these are some reasons that drive customers' behavior. And we mentioned about the issue of trust. If you want to defeat some of the situation, one of the key things is how you can actually build trust. So how do we actually build trust with customers? It's not easy to build trust with someone that you barely know in a very short span of time. So in a nutshell, usually what we do, oh by the way, we will be sending the PPTs to everybody, so you don't have to copy everything. Right, so just relax, yeah. people trust others to take care of them. Right? In a nutshell, if you make it in a way that you really care for the customer, as in you really want to help them to diffuse the situation, solve a problem, find out what's a better solution for them, it may not gain the trust immediately, but it's a start. It's a way of actually convincing them that whatever we do is we're not looking at whether we can or cannot make a sale. We're not immediately concerned about how much money I'm going to make from your company or from you. We're just looking at how we can actually provide a better solution and make your life better. We're looking at how we can actually solve the entire situation. Right? It's one part. People trust others who are trusted by their friends. Okay, so if you are able to make trust with some other people in their company, it's gonna help things a little bit. Now, coming back to the first point again, taking care of them. If you want to help a customer to solve their problem, you not only need to help them solve their business problem, and usually it is the case we're always focusing on a business problem. Customers want to change a scope. Right, I want to change certain things and tell them that, okay, these are things that we can do, these are things that we cannot do. If you want to do additional things, it will cost you this much. This is what we are solving the business problem. But what we are not solving usually is the personal problem. What is my personal problem? That requirement did not come from this customer. That requirement came from the boss or someone else. Right? So the personal problem in this case is, can you give that customer a way to give a feedback to whoever gives them that requirement, right? So that you help them to negotiate internally what could be a better solution. So if you were to tell them, just give a very simple situation that the customer has a problem, just help them solve the problem, you need to charge them more, right? That's usually whatever the problem is. We can solve the problem, but we need to charge more. So that is a business solution. Now, if you were to just tell them, I need to charge more, they will find it very difficult to tell to their boss. I talked to the suppliers, and suppliers say it will cost us more. Doesn't look good on that person. Probably that person is going to have some very negative feedback from the bosses. So it's not going to help the situation. So sometimes we need to think about how are we going to help them script the lines of what they are going to say to their bosses. So it can be things like, to solve this problem, there are certain issues that we need to resolve first. There are certain kinds of difficulties which we need to seek your understanding, right? If this is something that is important, the cost is only this much, but it's going to solve a bigger problem for you. So if you can help us out, that will be a better situation. Something on those lines. We need to think about how we are going to help this person, phrase it in a way that it looks good on this person to tell to their bosses. Okay, so that in a way is showing how you really take care of them, right? Again, it may not work instantaneously. It may not work the first time you try it. It may not even work the second or third time, but it's a way of consistently showing the customer that no, I'm not just giving you a business solution, I'm also looking at how you can tell your bosses, your other departments, how we can actually diffuse the whole situation for you. And if need be, if your other departments really have a big issue, right, they can by all means talk to us at any point of time. Some customers are demanding in a way that they will always say, okay, if you tell me no, I want to talk to your boss. So customers like to escalate, right? One of the key things is that, well, if you say yes immediately, then that makes your boss a very busy person, and that makes your boss very angry with you for not, little things that it's your job or come it's my job, right? So that's one part. If you say no, it makes the customers more upset. So it's neither yes or no, somewhere in between, right? So some of the key things, if you face in those situations, you want to tell customers, okay, I understand you want to bring the issue to our boss. Now, there is no issue if you want to talk to our boss. The question is, if this is a situation and whether it's me or my boss, this is the same explanation that you are going to get, right? So if you don't mind, I can help you seek ways to help resolve the whole situation. Maybe with your bosses, with your other colleagues as well. And if you really are not happy about it, maybe by all means we can involve our bosses. Okay, so it's about going to principle. What do you want to discuss with my boss? It's the same issue, right? Whether it's my answer or my boss's answer, it's going to be the same answer. So rather than talking to my boss and vent out your frustrations at my boss, why not we seek some possible solutions that both parties can accept? Right? Looking at bosses or firing the supplier doesn't help with the situation at all. Right? So these are some things that we can do. And the third part is people trust others who are like them, who somehow sound like them, behave like them, have similar mannerisms, values like them. Right? So this people who are like themselves. So these are some ways that usually we build trust. This level of trust, we're not saying about trust. I trust that person with $1 million of my own money. Not the kind of trust. It's not a trust that I trust a person to save my life. Not the kind of trust. The trust in this sense is more like, can I trust you to have a business conversation with you? Can I trust you to resolve a business issue that we both are facing? So this is the trust that is a little bit in a more low level, and just in a way easier to achieve. Right. So these are three parts. Mention about the first two. That if we are able to show that we take care of them, we are able to show that we are able to take care of them in the personal aspect, in addition to the business aspect. We are, if need be, if there are people in that company that knows us well, we get them as intermediaries. We get them as what we call mediators to help resolve those situations. So these are two ways. The third one is, how can you be like your customer? And this is what we have here. So we have this few shapes, 5, right? What we need you to do is to rank them, prioritize them according to your preference, from the one you like most to the one you like least. We have a triangle, a square, a rectangle, a circle, and this is what we call a squiggle. Squiggle. Squiggle out. So this is squiggle, right? So can you in the next 30 seconds just rank the shapes according to your preference， 按照自己的喜好顺序排列，从你最喜欢排到你最不喜欢。Right, so can you in the next 30 seconds just jot down briefly somewhere on some script of paper here and there. And by the way, this is not an IQ test, so it's not an indication of how smart or whatever.
We're homesick.
Okay, right. Anyone who is a triangle? Anyone whose first choice is a triangle? Oh, okay, interesting. Right.
Really?
Yes.
So,
Now, normally, what do we associate with a triangle? What things do we associate with a triangle? Stable. No, things. I said objects. 什么东西，什么物件。
Pizza. It's a big
you had your breakfast.
and a squiggle of bacon.
Right. Okay. We're into food now. Okay. Anything else that we associate with a triangle? Anything, physical thing. 有什么物体是跟
The roof of a house.
The roof of a house? Yes. Well, some people will say pyramids. Particularly on top of the building. And pyramids are the symbol of what? Power. Power, yeah, it's just power. So triangles are the power-driven, achievement-driven, goal-driven people. All right, so pointed, right? It's pointing to something, right? You have goal and you do whatever it takes to just achieve it. All right, so these are people who are driven, they are dominant. You want to get things done, and you want to get things done immediately. So when triangles say "I want it now," what they really mean is "I want it yesterday." Okay, so these are triangles. They're always starting something, wanting to achieve something, and being the reason that they are called drivers. You know, they are driven by goals. The reason they are called drivers is because they sometimes drive people crazy. Triangles like to delegate. Alright, so there are things that you know that you're good in, that's what you do. There are things that you know someone else will do a better job, and you know who to delegate the work to. Okay, so it's about sometimes in my hometown in Singapore, we call that arrowing. You know, it's like you have an arrow, that's a Robin Hood arrow, and you aim for someone, and you shoot the arrow, and that person does something. So the arrow. Triangles are again driven by achievement, recognition, sometimes status in a company. As in you like big job titles. You want to move ahead, move on top. So you want to be in a position of power, and that power is so that you can do more things, and you can have more achievements. So these are the triangle traits, and triangles are known to be impatient. Okay, and abrasive sometimes. So blunt, abrasive, impatient. So typical triangles. Okay, so and
I would ask actually, do the people that select triangle feel that what you described actually match what you are?
Yeah.
When I
you can notice she's proud of it.
Who else? I think it's next
Three.
And also Paul.
Paul.
Yeah. We are both BDs and we are both sharks.
Right. So well, we need triangles in the company. They set the rules, they set the directions, they set the goals. Right? Without them, we don't know where to go. So triangle thing. And do we have squares or boxes as the first choice? Squares. One person? Okay. Squares usually, squares are the perfect shape, so to speak. And squares are sometimes described in mathematics, the perfect shape. And basically, these are perfectionists. These are people who are detail-focused. Right? These are people who want to follow procedures, processes. Right? These are people who will be meticulous in doing their work. Right? They are focused on the rules. It's not to say that the squares don't change rules. They do. It's just that if you want to change the rules, it has to go through a formal way of reviewing and changing rules. Okay, if the rules are not changed, then we follow the rules. Okay, so the rule-based, procedure-based, detail-oriented. Right? Squares are the ones that are the busiest people in the company. We need the squares. If not for the squares, nothing gets done. Okay, so there are business around the company. The second business are actually triangles because they keep on starting something. Right? The squares are the one that actually gets the job done. Right? So unlike the triangles like to delegate, get someone else to arrow someone. The squares like to do it themselves. Why?
Don't trust other people.
Don't trust other people. Other people will not do as good as I do. So this is my thing. I can do a better job. So why do I get other people to do when I can do a better job? Right. So this is the logic of squares. Right. Squares don't like changes. Right. Whatever is fixed is fixed. It's there. Okay. So and squares in a way, the least imaginative of all this. So if you want to get squares to imagine something, it's a bit of a challenge sometimes. Okay, so less imaginative, creative, and so on. Okay, any rectangles? Okay, rectangles are a transition stage. Basically, it could be in a new job, it can be a new city, you just got married, you just bought a new house, and you just have a new baby, or whatever. Something happened in your life that is, or you just got a new promotion, right? So, or just handle a new type of customer. Right? So something in your life that is life-changing in a way, right? So this is a phase that you are learning quickly. You are looking to adapt to a whole new environment. So it's more of a finding out how should I adapt myself to this new environment. How do I change myself to suit the new changes? So this is a phase that, as I mentioned, we tend to learn a lot. It's most the phase that people will tend to be in a fast learning stage. Right? Most teenagers, 青少年, 十几岁青少年, teenagers are in this mode. Because one moment they want to be a lawyer, right? If you ask them what's the aspiration of 青少年, one moment I want to be a lawyer, then the next day I want to be a doctor, and the next day no, I want to be a corrupt official, right? 我的志向是贪官. So this is different aspirations. Every day it tends to change depending on what are the headlines, right? So that's rectangle. So when dealing with rectangles, there are two traits in terms of behavior. They can be like a triangle in the morning, very goal-driven, very impatient, and then like a square in the afternoon, very detail-oriented, and then like a circle in the evening. So tend to shift a lot because they're trying to adapt to the new situation. Okay. The other thing is with rectangles. If rectangles customers, they have a problem because they tend to change their minds. Right? And sometimes customers in that specific situations, they become rectangles because they don't know, and they're trying to find out, and they keep on changing their minds because they are trying to find out. They're trying to find which will be the best solution. So what I decide today, tomorrow I find out maybe that is not the best, so I need to do some changes. And day after, maybe that's not the best. I need to change something on that. Okay, so sometimes you get into those kind of situations as well. Yep. Circles. I think there are a lot of circles here. Any first try circles? Right. These are very nice people. They are the people person. Circles are the one without corners. 没有棱角. Okay, without corners. They don't have sharp edges. Right. They're the ones that like to be with people and be nice to people. Right. They are the ones who like to work with people. If you want to have career choices, triangles will say, what's a career development? Right. Squares will ask for exactly what you need me to do. What are the procedures? What are the rules? What are company policies? Okay. Circles will ask, is it fun to be in that place? Do I have a good working environment? Okay, so these are the criteria for circles. That would be people. So if you want to, if you are an evil person and you want to torture a circle, what you do is you lock a circle in a room facing a computer without the phones and no network connections. Okay, so that's how you torture a circle back. Okay, so these are people who are nice, and sometimes bosses questions, are the circles actually working or are they chit-chatting? Circles, are they Well, the official answer from a circle is it is working and chit-chatting. Without the chit-chat, there's no work. Okay, so it comes together, you cannot separate the two, right? So it has to come hand in hand. So you need to work with people, you need to chat, you need to talk about things, right? And sometimes, well, we know gossips, gossip, right? We know rumors, 谣传. Yeah, it's usually the work of circles. Because circles like to share things, right? And when you share things, that includes pieces of exciting information that are not proven. There's no basis, no evidence. It's just exciting as well, right? So you want to share. So when you share those information in a responsible manner, to someone else. So you don't want to tell to everybody. You just grab your best friend, right? And you tell a best friend, I'm going to tell you something. Please don't tell it to someone else. 告诉点事，千万不要告诉任何人。Okay, so unfortunately, we all know that birds of a feather flock together. So the best friend of a circle is a circle. So when you tell a circle a nice, juicy story, that circle is going to tell another circle, and that's how it spreads. Right? So that's that circle part. And circles are people know. Without the circles, we will be fighting. Right? We have 2 triangles in one company, right? And without the circles, they will be killing each other. so yeah, circles are the ones to mediate things and make things look good and nice and happy, right? So those are circles, right? Squiggles. Anyone first choice squiggles? Oh, wow. Oh, okay. This is one of rare occasions we got both of them squiggles. Squiggle. Squiggle. What we see here is not a shape. It can be called a diagram, it can be called something to draw, but it's not really a shape. So basically, squiggles are the think out of the box people. There are people with what they call lateral thinking. There are people with natural, creative, imaginative abilities. There are people who like to be stimulated mentally. I need to be stimulated by new ideas. I need to have new experiences. Right? If they look for a job, they look for travel opportunities. Or opportunities to do something different day in, day out. Just give me something different, right? It's the total opposite of a square. A square will say, tell me what to do exactly in perfect detail. You just stick to what it is. If things need to be changed, we'll review it before changing it. Squiggle says, don't tell me what you need me to do, just give me what it is. Just make sure that you change it frequently. And we'll change to different things, and we'll have different experiences. We'll face different customer situations. Squiggles are expert problem solvers. Right? They can solve a lot of problems, especially those problems that most people cannot solve. They will be master problem solvers. And they are good problem solvers for one of the reasons they are good problem solvers is half of those problems are created by the squiggles themselves. So I just want to have fun and some exciting things. So as well. So these are creative people. These are people who get bored very easily. These are people who are in a way messy. These are people who will carry on the conversation, and sometimes you don't know what they're talking about because they are talking about this issue and then that issue and then that issue and then back to this issue, right? So to the rest of us, it's like, what are you talking about? To them, it's like they are all related. They are somehow interrelated in one way or the other. Okay, so that's a squiggle. Then jump around. Okay, so these are different things. Now, let's just look at customers. How do we know which customers fall into what kind of profile, and how are we going to deal with that accordingly? Let's go to triangle customers. What will triangle customers do, or sound, or behave when they come to you, especially when they come to you with a complaint? Right, because triangles are known to be blunt, straight to the point. So there is no hi, how are you, how's your day, nothing of that sort. There's no talking about details, it's just straight to the point. I want this done. Right? The way they say, even if it's over the phone, you can feel that they're talking as if it's bullet points. First thing, second thing, third thing. That's it, I want it done. And they usually don't give room for negotiation. They don't ask you, can it be done? They just ask you, I want this 1, 2, 3 done. They probably will ask you, when can it be done? Alright, and whatever date you tell them, they say that's too slow. Okay, so these are typical triangles, what we call behaviors. They're looking at objectives. Okay, so now if they give what I call unrealistic demands to you, 1, 2, 3, and you know it cannot be done, what will be your response to that kind of customer? Very demanding, very straight to the point, very blunt. Usually triangles, phone calls are very short, or even even face-to-face, whatever meetings are short. They're just straight to the point. They probably